Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about one of the most relaxing, downright enjoyable, and unforgettable ways to travel through a country. So if you haven't guessed it yet, it's river cruising. For years, our Tour Imagination community has loved their river cruising experiences, and today we'll take a few minutes to share why so many of our travelers keep coming back for more.
River cruising in and of itself is amazing, but we want to talk for a minute about what's special about river cruising with Tour Imagination. First of all of the logistics are taken care of. From the moment you register right up to cruise time, we'll walk you through all of the steps. We'll take care of you, and we especially love our Zoom calls that we have 6 weeks before travel, where we get to know each other, answer any questions that you have about your tour. Next, you're going to be traveling with people of faith. What we find with Tour Imagination is a lot of our clients will travel together on our land tours and our cultural tours, and then they'll want something more, and river cruising is a great option. You'll also have thoughtful and attentive Tour Imagination hosts. These people are there along with our cruise hosts to just help you with the day-to-day planning, making sure that if you come on your own, you have people to do your offshore excursions with, sharing meals together. They'll take group photos. If there's any emergent situation, they'll be able to help with that as well. So if you're coming on a cruise on your own, you never have to feel that you'll be left out of the community feeling. We also have been told that shore excursions are fun with Tour Imagination friends. One of our clients has said, it's difficult to name one highlight. It was the entire experience of getting to know a group of people and eating dinner with one another each evening, plus the daily events of exploring a different port and experiencing a new culture and city.
We have a special guest with us today, and I'd like to introduce Terry Rakunik, Business Development Manager with AMA Waterways. Tour Imagination has partnered with AMA Waterways because they are known as an innovative river cruise line providing high-quality accommodations and food, comfortable amenities, and a wide selection of day excursions for travelers, along with top-notch service. Terry is a passionate river cruise expert, and I'd like to turn it over to her.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Richard. I'm just so pleased to be here today. It was wonderful listening to the Tour Imagination information because you really did pick the right supplier to be with, because that is something AMA Waterways. AMA actually means love in Latin. And so it is very important to us to make sure that everyone on board feels welcome. We also are making sure that your solo traveler is well taken care of and never feels like they're alone. So it's just such a special group to be part of. And so I'm going to share my screen here and let's get started with what we'd like to talk about, which is the river cruising with AMA Waterways. I really do appreciate everyone here for taking your time to watch this and learn about our product. But thank you so much to Tour Imagination for joining with us to invite you to such a special holiday and trip that you can take. So as Richard said, my name is Terry Rakunik. He pronounced that very well. I am right here in Manitoba with your hosts, and just love being part of the support to make sure that you have the most special holiday that you could possibly have. And I do so starting with talking about who our company is, because it really does make all the difference to who we are and what we can do for you, our client, and why we do it. So, like I said, AMA means love in Latin. But we are a family owned and operated company for almost 23 years now, all from Europe. Rudy from Austria, Christine from Germany, and the Murphy family from Ireland. Now, they all co-founded. Jimmy Murphy was the co-founder. His son now, since his passing, has joined with Rudy and Christine to run the company. And they are all very involved. All the decisions we make are based on them. And when I say Amma means love, Christine actually is the heart of our company. She is where all that love comes from. And that trickles down not only to all of our crew and everything we do, but we want to make sure that you feel that love as well. Now, Rudy is known as the architect of our ships. He also designs all of our itineraries. He's just an amazing man who's known as the godfather of river cruising, very innovative. Everything he does is to make sure that you have, excuse me, the most beautiful trip that you can have. Excuse me. So Rudy developed our ships. So for example, when you hear about low water, Rudy's done something so special. We are the only river cruise line, the lowest draft on the rivers in Europe. So he built the ship so that we can sail in 1.5 feet of water underneath our draft, which means we can sail in about 4 feet of water. But he's done that because we want to make sure that everybody gets on board and enjoys that holiday. So basically, it's about our heritage. They're all from Europe. They know the place very well. They have great relationships there, but it's important to all of us at Amma Waterways, and especially to the owners, to make sure that we exceed your expectations on the river, that we give you a very culturally diverse experience where you will just have, it will be better than what you expected. So Christine said it best when she said, oceans take you to countries, but rivers take you through them. So anyone out there who has already ocean cruise, you'll find a very big difference between them and us. We love our ocean cousins, but there's big differences. Anyone who's river cruised before will really recognize that. So you see from the picture that, we're sailing along a very calm river. You can see land on both sides. All of Amma Waterways staterooms are on the outside of the ship, so you all have a river view. It's very calm, so there's no seasickness, but you're stopping at the docks right in the heart of these cities and villages. So what that means is that when we dock right there, you can just step off the ship right onto the cobblestones. You are really immersed in the culture of wherever we are sailing. So that destination really becomes true for you. Now, the other big difference is that, ocean can sometimes be 6,000 passengers on board, but the river cruises are all the same size ships in Europe because the locks are only a certain size. So all of the river cruises, whoever you're traveling with, the ships are a traditional standard size. But what we do different is that we are only putting 156 passengers on our ship, where others, some of our friendly competitors, are putting 200. And the reason that that's important is, of course, that gives you more luxury of space in your stateroom. But that also means that we can have 5-star amenities. So Amma Waterways is 5-star, but not so much that you have to wear anything formal. You gentlemen, you're good in slacks and a polo shirt for dinner, for example. So the value of a river cruise, if you haven't done a river cruise, the value really is being immersed in that culture, which I already spoke about. But it is intimate. It's very relaxing. There's lots of personal attention because there is only 156 guests on average, as I said. So you get that personal attention. Like I said, no formal wear, no seasickness, but also no crowds or lineups. So when you're boarding, it's very quick. You're getting on board quickly. There's no lineups when you're taking our excursions. So what makes Amma Waterways different? To me, it is all about the love. I do think that it is the love that makes everything we do shine and sparkle. And that's what we want to show you. So we are very innovative. We are known as the trendsetters on the rivers. And I will mention just briefly things like when I say that all the ships are the same size, we actually have this ship called the Amma Magna that is twice as wide as all the other ships. And the reason Rudy could do that is because there's a place on the Danube River that you can sail with something so large. So we are very innovative. We've we brought in wellness hosts so that we can have more activity on the ship, so you can have a variety of things to do. We are more sustainable by making sure that we have glass water refillable bottles in your staterooms. When you go out on your excursions, we have Tetra Pak water bottles. We have We have an AMA app, which I'll talk about. So there's lots of things we're doing to really make sure that we're always trend setting and that you, our guest, is going to enjoy everything on board. So one of the things that Rudy built was this twin balcony stateroom, and you can see it on the right. And so on your river cruise, you are likely going to have a twin balcony room, depending on what you want. So the majority of our ships in Europe will be twin balcony. There are only 4 basically that will not have the twin balcony. And so the majority of the ship itself, from the suites to the regular staterooms, variety of staterooms, will be twin balcony, where you have the balcony to go outside and sit. You can see where the blue chairs are in the large picture. But then you also have a whole French balcony where you can open those doors completely to the outside. We often put the seating area in there, so you have more room in your stateroom. So that luxury of space is there, especially because we're putting less people on board. But we also, some of our ships will have connecting rooms. Some of them will have space for solo or triple or 4 people in the room even. Now, the majority are the twin balcony, but we do also have French balcony rooms. And we also have fixed window staterooms. So there's something for everyone and every budget. But what you really want to do is have good food, and we have the best. We are award-winning. I can't say enough about our food. With your river cruise, we're going to include a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're also going to have tapas in the afternoon and in the evening. But when you're in the dining room, we are all a la carte. With breakfast, we actually add a buffet as well as having an a la carte menu. So it's all up to you what you want to eat. Everything is fresh. We have nothing frozen except for the ice. We even make the ice cream on board. We do a lot of farm to table. So what that means is that we have relationships with people on the Danube to get asparagus, for example, or we go through a nectarine grow farm. And so we have those relationships where you'll see those products in our food when we're sailing in that destination. Now, we're really good with dietary restrictions. So if you have any, we will just need you to let us know, need to let the Tour Imagination know, and then they will let us know, and we will make sure that you have an exquisite meal as well. So lots there. During morning breakfast, we do offer bubbly if somebody would like a mimosa, and at lunch and dinner, we do have unlimited wine and beer for anyone, and pop, of course, as well. So that's always offered to you. The wines actually do change daily, and they are regional, so they change regionally as well. So those are options for you if you want to have something more than your pop. And then we have, because we're 5-star, we do have a specialty dining restaurant, and it is always my favorite. I love the food on our ships every night, wherever I'm dining. But we do have the specialty restaurant called the Chef's Table, and it is always my favorite meal. It is a 5-course tasting menu where you can see the chef is making your meal right in front of you behind that glass window. It's situated right at the back of the ship, so you have this beautiful view through those floor-to-ceiling windows right at the, like I say, at the aft. So it is beautiful. It is 5-course tasting. It's very special. They will serve fine wines with it if that is your choice to join that. And then, of course, we also include a whole free cocktail hour called Sip and Sail. Now, we have different cocktails, but we also have non-alcoholic cocktails, which can be purchased at that time too. But it is just really, the hour is all about going into the lounge and enjoying talking to everybody else who's been out during the day. So a river cruise is really, you're looking at having your breakfast. You'll probably stop in a port. You'll go out on that port. We'll offer excursions, which I'll talk about. You'll likely come back for lunch. And then in the afternoon, you'll go out to a different port, or you may go to different excursions in the same port. So you always have those options. And then after the afternoon excursions, you'll come back on board. And that's where everyone usually comes into the lounge for this Sip and Sail hour. And everybody wants to talk about what excursions they did, what excursions they didn't do. They want to hear all about it. So it's a great place to gather and meet new people, as well as join your own groups as well. So once that is done, we'll go to dinner. And then after dinner, Well, let me back up. When you're in the lounge at your sip and sail, our cruise manager is going to come and join you for about, they'll come and they'll talk for about 10 or 15 minutes in more detail about what we're going to be doing the following day. So you can always be in the know about what you want to choose for your excursions. You will pick them when you do your check-in, but you get to change things along the way, and many people try to change them. Our excursions are quite wonderful, but not as amazing as our cruise managers. Their only job is to help you, our guest. We want to make sure that every one of your needs is met. We will try to anticipate those needs. They're extremely helpful, whether it's about cruising or not. Once I was in Germany and I needed a pharmacy, and the cruise manager, I just asked where I could find one, and they let me know on the map, here you go. And they gave me directions. And then they said, but I can go for you. I'm going into town. Would you like me to pick something up for you? That is our cruise manager. They really do sparkle. And we think we have the best on the rivers. So after dinner, you can come back to the lounge if you like. We always have entertainment. So we'll have a pianist or a keyboardist who will also do some DJing if people want to dance to some ABBA or something. Sometimes some country music, but we always have some local entertainment. So if you're on a 1-week cruise, for example, 2 or 3 times we'll bring in local people to do some traditional dancing, or they'll come do some singing for you, or some musicians. It's always wonderful. You can join if you like. Some people just want to go to the little library or play some games or go back to their room to rest up for the next day. Now, I did say that we are 5-star, so we do have a number of amenities like a pool on most of our ships in Europe. We do have bikes on board as well as a gym. And then there are options that you can choose to add on yourself, like a massage is always nice, or there is a hairdresser on board. Now, I talked very briefly that we started a wellness program. And what that means is that the owner, Christine, saw that people wanted more activity. So what she did is she has a wellness host come and stay on the itinerary for the whole week with you. So what that person will do is they'll do morning stretches in the morning before excursions. They may do yoga in the afternoon. They will come on our more active excursions with us. And you can be involved with that if you want to, or you don't have to be. So that's something that you can do, whatever suits your needs. And then our Wi-Fi. We do have fabulous Wi-Fi. Again, different than our ocean. You can have as many devices as you want. The Wi-Fi is complimentary. And we do have very good Wi-Fi, so that we really have the best Wi-Fi for the area wherever you're sailing through. The Wi-Fi is very nice because it does give you an opportunity to, we have a complimentary app that you can download before your trip. We can put in your map of your cruise, your information for your cruise will go into it. That's all we do. And then it's all yours, and we can't access it anymore. But you can put your pictures in it. You can put people's emails in it and send them little postcards that will come through every time you stop in a port. So it's very fun to be able to do that. Now, really exciting are our excursions. So we have multiple excursions, and the really cool thing about AMA Waterways is that all of them are included. So that means when you go somewhere in Europe, you're going to stop in a port, and there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 6 different excursions that you can choose from to do. So what suits your needs? There might be a tour of the city. There might be a castle on a hill. There may be a wine tasting or chocolate making or pretzel making. So many wonderful things that you can choose from. Sometimes it's just so hard to figure out what you want to do. Sometimes my husband and I do 2 different things because there's so many incredible things to do. And we keep our groups very small. So if there's a lot of people wanting to do one certain thing, we will usually just bring in more local guides. And all of our excursions are led by these local guides. So from the area that we're stopped in, so they're extremely knowledgeable, and they will take us around. They will have a little earpiece so that you can hear them even if you're not standing right beside them. That's really nice to be able to know which church they're pointing at, so that you can hear what's going on all the time. Now, you get all these excursions, you get the local guide, you get a small group, but the best part is that we do ours in different activity levels as well. So when it starts, you're going to see that, let's use a castle on a hill, for example. So when you're going to go up the castle, we have a gentle walker. The gentle walker means we're going to take you by shuttle or bus up to the castle so that you don't have to do that walk, don't have to do any stairs or hills, and you get to see the castle. But if you want the regular walker, we're going to walk up that hill, probably sightsee along the way. So it'll be a bit of a slower walk, slower pace. But you still are going to see a lot of things along the way and then get to see the castle. And then we have our active. So our active means that you're going to go up that hill by hiking or biking. Our hiking is still usually on paths, so that is not an issue. You don't need hiking boots, just good runners probably. So that is our store excursions. So you get to choose what you want to do. Now we are only river. We concentrate on our river. We're not selling bus tours. We're not selling ocean tours. We really do work on only the river. That's where all of our focus and time is on. However, we have noticed that a lot of people are looking at extending their holidays. So we have included 2 different kinds of land packages, pre-land or post-land. They are only 2 to 4 days long. They're very short. They're really just to give you a little bit more from your holiday. So we will include on our land package centrally located hotel, including full breakfast every day. We'll include an excursion. We'll include free time. We will include the transfers between the ship and the hotel, as well as portaging your luggage. But the best part is that cruise manager who's going to be on your cruise is also going to be there on your land package. They're with you in that hotel. They will have a desk there. They will help you with even your own free time. They will be your personal concierge to help you along the way. So we do travel to many destinations, but of course, our exotics are there, the Chobe River in Africa, the Mekong in Asia, the Nile River in Egypt, and of course, we're just starting in the Magdalena River in Colombia. But the majority of our ships, of course, are in Europe, all over the rivers there. So quickly, I will just show you a little bit about what I was talking about. And let's just stop that. I always have that video and think, oh my gosh, it looks so much like it's really 5-star luxury. It is 5-star luxury, but not that you have to be in, like I say, anything formal or anything uncomfortable. You really do want, when you're river cruising, to be in comfortable clothes. In layers in Europe is really important. We have umbrellas on board, so really your raincoat if you want, depending on the time of season that you're traveling in. Otherwise, layers and good walking shoes. And most people will come and they will change for dinner. But again, nothing fancy is necessary. So I hope to see you on board.
Carrie, thank you so much. It sounds kind of like a dream that the hardest decisions on your cruise is going to be what to do and what to eat, but that's really exciting. We also, after listening to you, you speak the Tour Imagination language. So our clients love the connecting with each other and with new people, and also all the history and the culture that they'll get to see. And so I think that'll be a really great fit. So 2 questions, which actually you hit on in your presentation. So the one we hardly have to talk about, but just yesterday we spoke with a couple and we were chatting about clothing. And so exactly what you said, you know, to throw in for guys, the blazer or sport coat. And for the ladies, it's kind of fun, maybe, especially for these fancy dinners, to dress up a little, but it's not required. So that is so good to know.
No,
The
they will
other,
be very comfortable. Sorry,
yeah.
Diane. They will be very comfortable. My husband, he brings one sports coat, and only because I'm doing business when I'm on the ship. So I typically will dress up a little bit more because I'm hosting. And so he'll bring his sports coat for that, but otherwise he would not.
Lovely. That's perfect. And the other thing you touched on also, and I had someone ask about, am I going to feel seasick? And I was trying to explain it's the calm waters, but they were wondering whether even that little bit of movement, do you have people that just that little bit of movement bothers them?
I have never had anyone get seasick or tell me they've been seasick or talk about it. And even in our company, I've never heard anyone mention that before. I will say that when I took my husband on the first river cruise, we were having dinner and the windows of the dining room were just looking above the water, like you're looking down on the water. And we were having dinner and he was sitting backwards to how we were traveling. And as he's eating, he looks out and then he sort of started and went, "Oh, I forgot we were on a ship." There was no movement whatsoever. The only thing I have heard once was someone who'd gotten on board and was looking out as we were moving, and they were thinking that, "Oh, I'm seeing the movement," but never anyone who's felt sick from that. So something,
Amazing.
yeah.
It sounds wonderful.
And let me also add, when you were asking about, you were going to ask about the clothing, and I know I talked about that a little bit, but I will also say that we do laundry on board. It's very inexpensive, but again, I talk about my husband a lot. He comes on board with only 2, 3 days clothes usually, and so he will do laundry on board at least twice, and it's very inexpensive, but it's just such an easy thing to do for your clients, especially those who want to travel with carry-on.
For sure. And the one thing that I think sounds amazing as well is that your luxurious hotel is staying with you. So you don't have to pack and unpack and move rooms. You can just, bring, even if you want to bring a big suitcase, you unpack it once and you stay for the week. It sounds
Very much
amazing.
so. Yes, and I do that. I bring the big suitcase.
Lovely.
Well, this has been great, Terry. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We hope this has given you a glimpse of river cruising with Tour Imagination and with one of our key partner suppliers like AMA Waterways. We look forward to cruising with you.